Hey there everyone, Lord Frigid here with another episode of Aether Raid's Offense. This time we have another episode of Astra season. I actually had a pretty decent Astra season. I did end up losing a unit on my last battle of the season. I had 2 ladders remaining, but it was one of those situations where I kind of weighed my options and I decided, you know what? I mean, I'm probably fine here. I'm guaranteed tier 27 and top 1k no matter what I do, so yeah. I just took the one death and went on with my life, and I have to say, it was surprisingly satisfying. Well, anyway, that's enough blathering from me, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into these battles. Here we have the first map. It is a pretty standard infantry pulse setup. The enemies here are all pinned up into the upper left corner, so it's not quite a space oppression setup. It leaves far too much unthreatened territory to qualify as that. However, it is still fairly hard to approach purely because Leif here is a serious pain to deal with unless you're carrying a dedicated counter for him. And of course, his backup consists of a bunch of threatening 2-range foes with their specials pre-charged. In my opinion, this map's biggest weakness is its utter lack of presence on the majority of the map. In particular, it is quite possible to send a unit up from below, breaking the healing tower to attract the attention of Alm, Sonia, Yoon, and Sylvia. So since Yoon does not have ground orders, Ophelia won't be able to target this spot, so you are free to use a Vantage tank and simply deal with Ophelia and Leif once the remaining foes have been eliminated. Similarly, you can sneak a 2-range tank with or without Vantage up the right-hand side and snipe Ophelia. With the bolt tower still intact, Leif won't be able to attack your unit, enabling you to dismantle his support structure with relative safety. So I went ahead and used the first approach that I described here in my own clear, so let's go ahead and just get right into that. Now, I'm fortunate here in that my setup allows Altina to actually survive a hit from Alm's Lunar Flash without even a defense buff. And the reason for that is Micaiah's Yoon's Whispers cuts into his swinging power by lowering both his attack, which obviously contributes to his hit damage, and also his speed, which Lunar Flash scales off of. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick turn to get set up here, break the Aether structures, and then I'll kick off the map by breaking the healing tower. And what that's going to do is it's going to force Sylvia to attack Altina. And because I'm leaving the tactics room untouched, the only options for the enemy to start things off are to get Sylvia to attack, who is going to deal 0 damage, again because of Yoon's Whispers, or for Alm to attack, guaranteeing that she has Vantage active for the rest of the enemies. So, I'm just going to do a quick sanity check on enemy stats here, and yeah, things are looking pretty good, so I'll break the healing tower and be on my way. So let's take a look. I'm pretty sure Alm attacks first. Yeah, I figured the game's going to probably try and prioritize units that actually, deal damage. So, so fortunately, it turns out that I was correct that time, and now it should be a pretty easy Vantage sweep with the rest of the enemies here. Yeah, Sonia's definitely one shot, and then I believe Yoon's also one shot, and then Sylvia is definitely going to get taken down by Twin Blades. And then the only question after that is, will Ophelia follow Leif, or will they kind of part ways? I'm half expecting them to part ways, honestly, with Ophelia trending towards Altina. And actually, it looks like I was right there. Now, Ophelia's defenses are absolutely terrible. So bad, especially with life and death, that Altina is definitely going to be able to take her out. And whoa, Micaiah survives this? Really? Huh. I would not have expected that. Okay, well, this is definitely safe. I mean, I'm going to be taking both of them out now, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and have Micaiah and Idun tag team Leif, and then after that, Altina should be able to finish things by taking down Ophelia. So all in all, not too bad.
With all my strength.
With utter certainty.
Today's second map features a rally trap setup, which is designed specifically to punish enemy phased raiding parties. So there are 2 layers of range extension to make this happen. First, let's just assume that you've stuck a unit in range of Thrasir or Kyria. Ophelia will immediately provide a rally, and Asura's Refresh will grant her the movement range she needs to target your unit as well. The second layer comes afterward, assuming your unit has survived that onslaught, because then either Kyria or Thrasyr, whichever one you didn't just deal with, will advance and likely get refreshed by Micaiah. The exception to this is if you can bait out Ophelia and Kyria with your unit, and then use some clever AI manipulation to make Thrasyr advance down the left side instead of the right. So you may have noticed that when I have the capability to do so, I prefer to approach rally trap maps like this one by dismantling the rally element. This can be done in a number of ways. One way is to neutralize it entirely by defeating or applying isolation to the rally unit or refresher. However, as I have demonstrated in previous videos, there are sometimes other more clever options, like opening up a nice safe space for the rally unit to rally from. That way, when they get refreshed, their range won't actually be extended to the degree that the defense team needs to achieve success. In this case, I decided to eliminate the rally unit and just sustain tank my way through the remaining foes. Alright, this battle is definitely a job for the Alphonse raiding party. I'm just going to take a few turns to get all set up here. This is actually a pretty tricky setup requiring some very specific positionings to make sure that I keep Alphonse safe from the bolt trap test, and then to get everyone into place for when I initiate combat, because I will need my units in a pretty specific order to get everything to work out the way I want it to. So let's just go ahead and get into this trap test right here. I'm going to move up Altina and then refresh her and then smite her straight onto the bolt trap. And now the tricky bit here is if this trap is real and only deals 10 damage. So let's take a look. Okay, it was fake. Now, if it had dealt only 10 damage, that would have been kind of troublesome, because that would put her in the unfortunate position where she has taken not enough damage to put her in vantage range, but has taken too much damage to allow her to survive a hit from Legendary Alm. And that she will need to do that for the strategy I have in mind. Now, if she hadn't, there actually was a kind of Hail Mary type of maneuver I could try and pull off that I didn't really want to look into. In fact, I didn't actually calculate it out, although I really probably should have. So, fortunately, I will not have to resort to that. I'm just going to go ahead and get my units into position here. I will need one turn after this one to get fully set up. So let me go ahead and just hit and turn here. My units are all safe in the bolt tower, so that's cool. And let's move. I believe I need Nils up next to Alphonse, and then Naga in there behind him, and Kranya underneath Alphonse, and that ought to do the trick. So I'll go ahead and hit and turn, and I'll kick things off by repositioning Alphonse up towards the enemies and taking out Ophelia. Of course, activating the duo skill before I do that. And what that will do is it will prevent Thrasyr from receiving that drive res buff, which is preventing Alphonse from straight up one-shotting her. Now after that, I will smite Nils straight up the left-hand side, and which will allow him to refresh Alphonse. And then I'll reposition Nils out of harm's way, which, 1, gets him to safety, and 2, allows Alm to attack the Seer from a location that is not affected by Kyria's Mirage Rod. And this is what I was talking about, where I said Altina would have to take a hit from Legendary Alm. I do believe Alm will target her because he can deal more damage. So let's just confirm this, and yeah, exactly. She takes a 35 from him, which puts her at exactly 9 HP, which is, as you can see, that's why I was concerned about the potentially real 10 damage only bolt trap. From there, it should be pretty easy pickings. I believe Azura is definitely going to attack, and then Micaiah should just kind of advance blindly, allowing me to take out the Aether Fountain before finishing off the map. So, let's take a look here. Oh yeah, Alphonse, I don't even think that puts him under half HP, does it? Yeah, no. And a very easy one-shot at that, so no need for quick post. And I guess, actually, I'm not even sure. Yeah, well, with Wings of Mercy, which I'm not actually sure if he actually has, Micaiah would definitely have been able to take out Altina, so good thing Alphonse is able to one-shot Azura there. Alright, this video's bonus battle is a bit more bland than the maps I usually feature in this slot. It basically isolates the enemies up at the top of the map. I usually don't find these types of setups particularly viable, since it gives the attacker much more control in terms of when to engage which enemies. One thing I find interesting about this setup is that this space here, which might normally be its biggest weakness, since it lets the attacker aggro the AI on turn 1 relatively safely, is actually reasonably well threatened by Eleonora, whose Mirage Longbow can prevent enemy counterattacks. However, I do still think it is a weakness, as it is possible to simply drop a physically bulky unit there, wait out her 2 rounds of attacks, and then simply have a ranged player phase unit pick her off on the next turn. Then you can kind of bait around the ranged units as you please, as the melee foes won't move until you take out the Bolt Tower, Jack-o'-lanterns, Snowman, or Coffin, because they won't see that they have a path to reach your units. Alright, so instead of playing hide-and-go-seek with the ranged enemies along the bottom of the map, I'm actually going to go ahead and take the fight straight to the enemy team here by engaging with an attack on Eleonora and Ophelia. I'm choosing those targets because they are the most threatening ones to Alphonse's survival. Eleonora obviously prevents Alphonse from counterattacking, and Ophelia has her Blazing Light special, which is just devastating, and taking one of those is not something I'm very interested in doing. So, I'm going to go ahead and start moving my units over here to get ready for that. I will have Kronya try and go up the right-hand side, hopefully take out the Aether Amphorae. I am hoping that the enemies will trend towards the green enemies will trend over towards the left-hand side, where Nils and Naga are kind of hanging out, instead of down the right, but we will see.
You have my trust.
So, I'm going to need to take an extra turn for setup here, because Altina does need to be immediately behind Nils, so she can reposition him to safety after he provides a refresh to Alphonse. And that is, that's necessary so that he doesn't eat a bonfire from Xander. Definitely not something I'm interested in having him do. So, let's just go ahead and take my one more turn of setup here. And that ought to do it. We're pretty good here. It's only turn 3, so no big deal. And now I can kick things off. Definitely need to activate Alphonse's duo skill so he can have Open the Future ready to roll. And then after that, I can just smite him in and take on Eleonora, probably, or I don't know. I could go either way. It doesn't really matter which one I do first, so let's just go ahead and take out Eleonora. Should be a pretty easy one-shot with Open the Future, providing enough damage to take her out. And then, of course, provide a refresh. I'm a little sad that play will only affect Duma, who is already affected by it from the start of turn activation on its effect. But oh well, we'll survive. So Alphonse is definitely going to be able to survive Duma with attack smoke on him, and he will definitely KO with the effective damage. I don't even know if he actually even needed the effective damage, but you know, better safe than sorry. So let's take a look. Okay, Duma is attacking first, deals 20, and Alphonse will heal 12 in return, so that's not even a big deal. And after that, Xander will attack, and I'm pretty sure that what happens afterward is the Seer advances, not really sure which direction, and then Dorcas, seeing that she is in danger, he will provide a swap to get her up to safety. So let's take a look. Open the Future. Okay, that's a decent amount of health still remaining. Okay. So Thracier moved straight down, and Dorcas moved over to the left. I thought for sure he was going to swap her, but I was wrong on that count. He doesn't one-shot him, but I'm pretty sure that with Quick Riposte active, he will be able to get the double. Particularly because Dorcas's Distant Def is currently preventing Alphonse from dealing the full measure of damage that he would if Dorcas were attacking instead. So let's go ahead and I'm a little worried about what Thracier is doing here, so I'm gonna move Kronya over to the left to prevent her from going further down. So let's take a look here. Oh, now she goes to the left. I don't really know if I have a path to this Aether Amphorae at this point. I think it might be easier to just cut my losses and take out Dorcas and Thracier here. Altina can definitely do it, so let's just go ahead and do that. Honestly, once I have Altina take out Dorcas, that basically seals the deal, because there's no way I can get can get Altina out to safety without taking Thracier down. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Missing Aether structure, but oh well.
With
I
utter
am actually... I think I should be able to do
No
my
backing
doubled up
down.
battle on the last day anyways. Alright, that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Aether Raid's Offense. I personally am a little sad that I didn't get to use Duo Idun to her full potential. I do believe that once her time to be in the bonus year rotation comes around, I'll actually just borrow Winter Sothis from Light Season and use her in Astra for a week, just to get a taste of that full dragon armor power. I know it doesn't really seem like it necessarily, because when I use the dragon armor setup in Light Season, Sothis doesn't really do a whole lot of fighting, but she actually does play quite a pivotal role on that raiding party. She, 1, is an armor, which enables me to take advantage of the Armor March bonus. 2, she provides great color coverage, being able to take on blues. And 3, she has self-sustain in the form of Sirius, which is going to be especially handy in Astra Season, since neither Naga nor Altina are capable of providing long-distance healing at the start of every turn like Air does. But that's all talk for another day, so I hope to see you guys at the end of next Light Season for another episode of Aether Raid's Offense. And until then, I thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.